Shot everybody in front of the gun, so don't dart off on me.
Okay.
Director Adcock?
Are we about to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Even after
Did you wire?
black, white. Well, I don't know about the black, white, but just I don't
Did you
know.
wire? If you get over here to my left.
Another election every day.
Everybody's working today.
I heard he's doing fine.
You got on red?
I don't read.
Is everybody here?
Because I really. Money prescription. Did you send that along?
I need some. I got him in the car.
Why don't you go get that?
All
I've never seen
right. Good morning. It's indeed an honor to be with you here today at the City of Little Rock's Fleet Services, where while we always understand that public safety is our number one priority, public safety, public works, even our parks and recreation system, code enforcement, housing, neighborhood programs cannot deliver for our residents without support and service delivery of fleet services. They truly are the hands and the feet of the City of Little Rock, and so we are proud to be here as we look out and see many members of the City of Little Rock's Fleet Services team that helps us stay on top of our support and delivery to residents. I want to take this time to share the appreciation to our Fleet Services Director, Mr. Willie Hinton, as well as our Public Works Director, John Honeywell, who both will speak later today about today's announcement of a very good thing as it relates to service delivery for our residents. But it does not happen without the teamwork and the unification of our administration, the City of Little Rock Board of Directors. I want to take this time to recognize Vice Mayor Kathy Webb, who's here with us today, Ward 1 City Director Virgil Miller, At-Large City Director Joan Adcock, Ward 7 City Director BJ Wyrick, At-Large City Director Antoine Phillips, Ward 4 City Director Cappy Peck, and every member of the City Board who wasn't able to be present here today. Their presence was felt as the reason why we're here today is because they voted in the affirmative of close to now a combination on September 3rd, $2.1 million, and close to $800,000 on the first meeting in October, where they voted in the affirmative, where the City of Little Rock and our administration were able to find dollars to deal with the manifestation of a long-term need that was realized as a result of mismatching parts and really focusing on getting things out the door and things out beyond our control. This City of Little Rock, unfortunately, we have not had a fleet services replacement program in our history. We've relied on getting things done with one-time funding, but due to things beyond our control, whether it was a wreck or a fire, it caused us to come here today where we were able, through fiscal stewardship, find the dollars to ensure that service delivery was prioritized with those particular trucks. As we shared before, our number one priority is make certain the trash is always picked up. And in times of need, due to things beyond our control, we've had to relegate yard waste to focus on trash. That's unacceptable to our residents. They deserve better and a better level of service. And so with today's announcement, as we are now finding a quick solution, as I shared, the issue manifested on September 3rd, today is October 15th, and we have already ordered 7 new trucks, close to $3 million. 4 of those trucks are already here. And right behind us, we have 1 of those trucks that will be hitting the streets here this week to make certain that we show and demonstrate better service for our residents. We stand together to help our residents understand we see the issue, we've solved the issue, and there's more work to do. And as we build together, first of its time, a fleet services replacement program, we'll learn more about fleet services from Mr. Willie Hinton. We'll learn about the progress that we've made, because as a result of those issues, in addition to finding the dollars and the city board approving the dollars to get to these trucks here today, we've mandated overtime with our employees. I can tell you our employees, on one hand, they're happy about it because we're in the Christmas season because there's extra money, but also it is a drain on them. And so we've assured them as we get more of these trucks on the streets that we will curb down the mandated overtime to ensure that we get back on schedule without putting so much burden on them. But we're grateful to them because we do not survive without the men and women of our fleet services team, our public works team, and our public safety, because our public safety can't get on the streets unless their cars are working and their trucks are working. So today is all about fleet services and public works. We'll talk more about how do we get to a long-term solution of a true fleet services replacement program through the passage of our sales tax. I want to commend a part of our penny sales tax has included into it $3 million to start that process on a down payment of fleet services program due to an amendment of Vice Mayor Kathy Webb that includes some more trucks. It doesn't get us totally there, but it's truly a down payment, and we'll be working towards that in combination with the sales tax and our upcoming budgets and things of that nature that John Honeywell will talk through, that we'll have to make some costly decisions, but it's for the betterment for our residents. And so now we're here from Mr. Willie Hinton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good morning. Thank you, the directors, for coming out to visit with us today. I'm proud to have you here to see part of what we do. We're here this morning to talk about the refuse trucks that the 7 refuse trucks that we did order for Public Works, and not Public Works, waste collection. Very much needed, as all of you know, in fleet and all of Public Works. Waste collection knows there's X number of trucks that we have to have on the road every day. For side loaders like you see standing behind me here, we have to have 19. And most of our vehicles are past their useful life, right? And that was the reason for us to go out and expedite getting these 7 trucks in. It's a large investment, but let me tell you, our daily mission in Public Works and waste collection and at Fleet is to make sure that the men and women on the front line have what they need to go to work every day, right? And that's the tool that they need to actually go out and pick up trash. And believe me, these folks get a lot of calls when that trash don't get picked up. And then I get a lot of calls because trash didn't get picked up. The mayor get a lot of calls. And the way that we avoid that is to keep the useful life current on all of his collections equipment. He has 27 of these things, right? And half of them don't run half the time because they're too old. So the mayor has requested that we finish the fleet replacement plan for every department, right? And including the Public Works departments of collections and streets, right? And we're going to be doing that, and everybody here will get to see that. It'll be the first time we ever had one, so that they can actually make decisions based off of numbers instead of based off of what someone says. I'm proud that we were able to do this, but this is a down payment, like the mayor said, on getting started toward a real rotation, keeping that old equipment out of the system so that they don't get these calls and they can be working on the other things that they need to be working on. I'm proud to be an employee for the city of Little Rock. I'm proud of all the ones that work for me, and I'm also proud to be one of the people that has to make sure that this city moves every day through every department. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Honeywell to talk about the waste operation.
Not quite as tall as Will. I'll move this back down. Good morning, everybody. First off, I want to say thank you to the mayor and the board for finding the funding that's so important to us for our daily operations, doing solid waste work for the city. I'd also like to say thank you to Willie and the fleet department and all of our staff in solid waste. They have to deal with this issue every day, and keeping our equipment on the road and functioning properly so we can provide the services that our residents expect and deserve is of their utmost importance. And they do a great job of working with what we have each day to provide that service. So thank you to them. So the trucks that you see behind us, and then there's two more that are here in the city, should be out on the roads and operating next week. The remaining three that we have coming in should be hopefully by the end of the year. We should have all those in place and operating. So that's exciting for us. It's going to replace 7 trucks that are, like Willie said, of an older age that have continuous maintenance issues. But it is also sort of the first step in our plan of how we're going to continue to provide better service to our customers. The trucks you see behind us are very similar in design to what we have out on the road now. But 2 of the additional trucks that we have coming in this year are going to be of a different design. They have a little larger capacity, so it's going to change how they can operate. We're going to use those as sort of as a test to see if we like that model. And moving forward, when we purchase additional trucks, we're going to look at what those options are and how that can help us operate more efficiently. So what got us to this point? As Willie said, we had some issues with our fleet as far as how it operated each day. So that caused us to get behind, especially in yard waste, when we had to address garbage collection with the equipment that we had available and had to delay yard waste. So we went to the mandatory overtime for a lot of our employees. That was successful for us. We were able to get back on schedule and collect both garbage and yard waste after about 7 to 10 days of doing mandatory overtime, 7 days a week. We were able to cut that back. We still have mandatory overtime in place, but we aren't necessarily working 7 days a week. We've been able, with the help of fleet, keeping vehicles on the road, and our staff working that additional overtime, get back on schedule and provide the services that our customers desire. These new trucks, replacing those, are the first step. We're also starting to work on some additional things for solid waste when it comes to routing software and hardware that we'll use in our trucks to help our drivers be more efficient in doing their routes each day. It's also going to give us a better ability to monitor areas that may be missed during a day for whatever reason, either a mistake by a driver, construction or other obstructions on a street where they can't get to it, or if someone just doesn't have their trash can out that day and when we go by. We'll be able to monitor that and collect that data and be able to go back and look at it for better efficiency when we're doing those collections. We're also working on the vehicle replacement program, like Willie said. That's going to be a huge benefit for us in the future. It's going to be able to provide a better outcome for everyone, and that leads into the sales tax. Having that additional funding that's in the sales tax, the $3 million, will keep us moving down that road, but we're also going to have to explore other options of how we're going to fund our fleet replacement in the future, and that's something that we're currently working on now. So the importance of the sales tax to not only solid waste but to all operations and public works is very, very large. It provides us the funding to continue doing the capital improvements you've seen across the city over the last 10 to 12 years. And it'll also allow us operationally to increase some of the work we're doing from an operational basis. So with that, I'm going to stop. We're happy we have these new trucks and look forward to providing better service to everyone in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Willie. Thank you to our members of the board of directors. Again, in closing, we're here today because with our spirit of doing a lot with less and things beyond our control, we're here today. But when there's a problem, we find a solution. We fund the solution. As I shared, we just purchased 7 new vehicles that cost us about $3 million. We have 27 to 32 vehicles that operate every day to make certain that our close to 70 to 80,000 households are serviced correctly. And it costs more money. We're starting the down payment towards the city's first ever fleet management program for the entire city, but particularly as it relates to fleet services and public works. It takes data to get to this point. It takes funds to get to this point. And while we've done a lot with less, we want to do more for our residents to create better optimization for them because they deserve better. But in deserving better, it still costs. And as Director Warwick has stated, any city focuses on the nuts and bolts. This is about as nutty and bolty it can get. Because we cannot survive.
Not nutty and
I made up a word, I know I did. We cannot survive without providing the hands and the feet towards our employees as it relates to public works. But a part of the results for the ROC sales tax that are before the voters, it's not only putting a down payment on a fleet management program for our public works, but also for public safety. We're putting close to $60 million to ensure that we have a fleet management program in public safety. We're doing close to $100 million in public works, close to $200 million, a little more than $200 million in parks and recs. And guess what? They have vehicles too. It all costs. And so anyone out there thinking that things can just keep on going the way they've always gone and not make more investments, they don't want to get better. They don't want the city to thrive. And we're about making certain that the city thrives together, and that's the best way is by voting for twice as we educate everyone about that. That being said, have a great day, and we'll take a few questions. Any questions?
Do you have some info on why those trucks went out of service? I know one caught fire or something. Did more than one catch fire? And
Yeah, so they're really, again, as I shared earlier, for those who may not have been here earlier, this is a manifestation of focusing on doing a lot with less. What do I mean by that? We're still using the same dollars where our parts have gotten costlier, supply and demand have gotten costlier, and so our fleet has gotten costlier. That being said, we've had, at least in the last year, we had one vehicle catch on fire and another vehicle that was in a wreck. And when you do not have a fleet replacement program to plan for unexpected circumstances and have a rolling fleet, this is what happens. We don't talk about the past of why we didn't have a fleet management program. We're making the down payment on our present and our future. Next question.
I think I'm certain that there are some voters that are going to be skeptical about supporting the sales tax in November because they may look at a situation like this and think, why should I reward the city, if you will, with $65 million in additional funding every year if they're struggling to manage something that's very basic, like solid waste, yard waste pickup? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say that while that may be very basic, the costs aren't basic. As we've shared earlier, at one point a few years ago, to repave a street was $150,000. To repave that same street now is $300,000. To build a new road used to be $1.5 million. It's now $3 million. I can tell you, 10 years ago, it didn't cost $3 million to buy 7 new trucks. And so in addition to that, focus on the supply and demand and inflation that we've all experienced. They can say they don't want to or not, but the cost still keeps building up, and we're dealing with the same yesterday dollars, dealing with today's problem. Next question. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Vote for it twice.
We're going to move this so we can take the photo.